So the trailer for the original Bring It On opens with a bunch of cheerleaders all standing in a row, and then they're all like crisscross like this, and they start moving, and you can see the next one and the next one, and then it gets down to Reese Witherspoon, or wait, was it? No, wait, upside down kissing Spider-Man girl. What was her name? Well, the one with the messed up teeth. Anyway, so it gets to her, and then she does like a woo, and puts her hands out thing, and her top comes off. And everybody in the stands freaks out, but I'm guessing in the movie that probably turned out to be some retarded dream sequence. Anyway, so then something happens with that, and then some other guy is like, oh, catchphrase, and another girl's like, oh, catchphrase, and they're at a football game, and some guy's like, oh, something, something, nice team, and the guy's like, gee, you just got beat. So then that happens, and then a bunch of overprivileged white people say some more catchphrases, and then they're like, oh, you stole those cheers from a black school, and then the black girls come in and they say snappier catchphrases, and something, something. That's all I remembered. So for some reason, about 4 years later, they made a direct-to-video sequel to Bring It On entitled Bring It On Again, even though I think nobody saw the first movie, and I'm sure everyone forgot in that time frame. Anyway, it begins with showing some sort of, university that was probably stock footage, and they start saying all these things about catchphrases like, oh, get ready to turn it and twist it and bring it, kind of like that game where people would hit the thing and it would tell you all the different stuff to do. And anyway, then it shows a montage of people auditioning to be on this cheerleading squad, and it just goes down a laundry list of bad movie cliche people, followed by, just repeated shots of rich white people talking about rich white people things, because I guess too many people were frightened by the racial politics of the first movie. Okay. So a lot happened in the third trailer for the film Bring It On, All or Nothing, and I am sure I'm going to leave out a lot of stuff. But remember when I said they left the racial politics out of the second movie? Well, in the third movie, they decided truly all or nothing on this one, and they just went all on it. So, essentially, the trailer opens, and we're meeting a girl who, her name, it sounds like they said her name is Woody Allen. I think it was Whitney. It doesn't matter. Who gives a what her name is? So anyway, we meet her, and she's like your stereotypical rich white girl. She goes to the school, and she's the prom queen. Everyone loves her because the sun shines out of her ass or whatever's wrong with her. So then, as a wacky twist, she then goes to the inner city school, where she is immediately greeted by a bunch of Latinos and an old lowrider bouncing up and down in the parking lot, and then a bunch of other wacky things happening, and black people saying, oh no you didn't, and you want me to cut her. Then she's shown going into the school, where she's greeted by a large scary black man with one of those like metal detecting wand things like they have at the airport, and it beeps and somebody snatches her bag and she's like, what is this, LAX? And oh, and I think there was probably something about a cheerleading competition. Alright, so there's the third. See, that's the thing, is you can't see this where you're watching it, but I've literally been sitting here doing this for probably about 5 minutes, and I've already forgotten how many of these movies there are. Anyway, Bring It On, In It to Win It. Trailer introduces us once again to cheerleading teams doing cheerleading things. So, first what happens is there's some kind of catchphrase and a bad, poorly made, like, Photoshop graphic popping up that's probably some pun on the In It to Win It thing. And a bus pulls up, and a bunch of girls get off, and they're like, oh, the toughest team is the Sharks. And I literally said after that, I was like, what's the other team, the Jets? And not a half a second after the words leave my mouth. And then there's the Jets, and, then they do their thing where it shows a bunch of girls doing that pyramid stacky people thing, and people being thrown into the air and doing a split. Like, pretty much the same footage you see repeated over and over again in all of these trailers. And then some inconsequential things happen. Then there's the token black character who says a black thing that I don't remember. And then there's some guy who's like, chill, brah, it's just cheerleading. And then about 5 more puns on the titles about how they're in it to win it, or they're going to bring it on to win it, which they're in on. And then something with some white people win a trophy or some.
What about the plot about them getting injured?
What plot? There's no plot! Okay. The final film is called Bring It On, Fight to the Finish. At this point, I am now fully convinced these films, the makers of these films, and the intended audience for these films are all racists. Every last one of them are just racists. Why do I say this? Well, first let me explain. They got past the blatant racism thing 4 or 5 movies ago, or however many I talked about, and now they're into the subtle kind of like hinting at, you know, like when you have somebody's like racist mom who they're just like, oh, well, don't go into that neighborhood, they'll steal your phone, like just kind of backhanded racism. That's what they're doing in this last movie, because now they got, and instead of like the pretty white girl goes to the scary black school, they did it backwards, where they took like the Latina girl, the sassy Latina girl, who's a total stereotype, and they sent her to like the snotty white girl school, and then she assembles like a ragtag team of like, you know, various browner colored people, cheerleaders to fight the blonde, like I'm the rich girl, everyone should give me everything team. And I think I was told to describe what the films are about, but honestly I couldn't tell you, but I think there's some kind of competition where they have to beat the white people and everyone feels good at the end, and she's trying to date this like vaguely ethnic boy who looked at her for 4 seconds when she came to the school or something, and also some angry rich white girl gave the main protagonist like a dirty look when she came to the school, and of course it's like, oh, you're not from around here, but you know what it's really about.